Tonight I'm going to do a video on mold preparation. What to do when you buy your mold and you're getting it ready for the first time. I've got some stuff set out here on what I use to prep my molds, and this works great for me. I've got the Lee 9mm bullet mold. It's just .356, and I do want to say this is the 120 grain mold. It still has all of the shipping grease on it. I'm going to be doing some casting in the next few days, and well, I wanted to go ahead and get this prepared. The tools that I use: your standard cleaning brush for your firearms. It's what they call an acid brush. They're right about 35-40 cents, maybe 60 cents at your local hardware store. Acetone. Pick this up at your Walmart. Then paraffin wax. This is candle making wax, but as you can see, it is paraffin. Another variant is Gulf wax that you get in your canning aisle. You'll need some type of pan, and this has got some wax in it, but that's okay. It's not going to come in contact with the mold. And what I do is you also have to remember ventilation. So I take my acetone, and I'll pour it on my blocks. I just give it a good pour. All the metals, the screw plate. I take my acetone, my acid brush, and I dip it in. And then I just pretty much wipe it. I wipe the inside of the cavity. Dip it back down. Get the V grooves, the alignment pin grooves, and the alignment pins. And you're just wiping it down really good. This is where you're really going to do some scrubbing. Really get in there and scrub her good. Once you have cleaned it with acetone, what you want to do is let this air out and let it evaporate. I just set it on a box out of the way. Once you've degreased your mold, you need to lube it. To lube it, you need to bring the mold up to temp. So normally what I do is I take my production pot and I turn it on, and I get it going really good and hot. And then I rest this over the mouth of it so that the pot heats it up. Once it heats up, paraffin wax comes into a bar form. Okay? What I do is I take a knife and I'll cut it so that I get like a nice rectangle chunk. So we're going to pretend like I've already done that with this. The places that you're going to want to lube up your mold: close this up pretty good. Once this mold is hot, this bolt right here this screw right here is also going to be hot. What I do is I tilt it down this way, because you don't want the wax to get inside your cavities. You do not want wax in there. So I kind of tilt it, leaving it flat, but tilt it enough to where the wax will run down and away. And I just pretty much touch it. And when you touch it, it's going to melt, and then it's going to go inside that screw right there. Then I lube this by touching it, and I do the same thing on the bottom. And this is where you got to be careful. Right here is where this alignment pin goes into. You'll want to put a little bit there, and all I do is I just run it straight across. And I'll also touch up and do that pin. So I do this and this, simply running it across. This rib, I'll run it down. Lube that rib up, and then you've got this rib over here, this V-rib. And I do the same thing. I run it down, keeping it away from the cavities. Flip over, repeat same time. And that is how I clean and lube my mold. People run into lead sticking to their mold, and they would like to know how to get rid of it. Paraffin wax. Lead does not like to stick to wax. Just doesn't work. So, what I do, for an example, when I bring in my molds up to temperature, I like to set my mold inside the molten lead. Now, once your mold reaches the same temperature or gets hot enough, you should be able to lift it out and the lead won't be touching it at all. I like to do a two-step process. This also helps flux it. I'll take my paraffin wax, and from this arm down, I'll scrub paraffin wax on the mold all the way around. Front, side, back, the whole bottom, and the other side. And I also hit these bars with paraffin wax. Lead will not stick. It comes right off, plus it flux your mold. Now, if you get lead stuck on any part of your mold, and let's say right here, bring it up to temperature, warm it up, take your paraffin wax bar, rub the lead. Once you rub the lead, take your toothbrush or your cleaner brush, do that little number, lead's gone. See ya. Do that on any part of the mold. If you get lead stuck in your cavity, you're going to have to remove it, or else it gives you crappy bullets. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. You're going to have to put wax into your cavity. So just put enough in there to get the lead displaced, then scrub it out. Once you do that, you're going to need to clean your mold again. Grab your acetone, your acid brush, dip it in the acetone, get that cavity good and soaking wet. Now, you're going to do this after you get the lead out and you let the mold cool down. So you keep doing that. You get the acetone in there really good. Dip this in acetone, scrub it. Really, get in there and scrub it with the acetone. Then, do a final acetone rinse, blop it with the paper towel, set it to one side, let it evaporate. So that's my tip on how to lube, degrease, and how to keep maintenance up on your mold. We'll catch you on the flip side.